So can you just explain what Foursquare can do for a brand and how brands can use Foursquare today?
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of limited how you can use Foursquare right now. We're building a whole bunch of self-service tools that will help. But the experiments that we've seen so far have been really interesting. The Foursquare platform is great for it's designed for users to leave tips behind for other users to discover.
Yeah.
So I say, if you're at this restaurant, have this chicken parm. If you go to this place, make sure you try the steak with the special sauce. And now we're seeing that brands have been using it, first to start leaving tips behind. Oh, you follow the New York Times, here's all the tips, about Prague, for example. Then we started seeing, TV shows start using it. Like, oh, if you follow this TV show, then we'll let you see New York City through the lens of the characters in the show.
Yeah.
Oh, on Gossip Girl, this is such and such's, favorite place to grab a cocktail. It's the hotel that was featured in this fancy episode.
Yeah.
We saw like the History Channel, for example. Stash nuggets of history all over the place. It's like you check into your office, a tip pops up about, hey, the oldest elevator ever used was actually built right across the street from me. Kind of.
Yeah.
And so, you think about it as like a platform for brands to come up with little nuggets of content that they want to share with users and scatter them all over the place. And it's important because, like if you're the History Channel, like when people turn off their TV, they're not, they're not thinking about the History Channel anymore. They're not thinking about your TV show, they're thinking about your magazine or newspaper. This is a way for some of these brands and other companies to reconnect with those users when they're out on the street actually doing certain things. So like you're out with your friends, you check in somewhere, you get a piece of trivia, you get a little nugget of content, and maybe that spawns a conversation about that particular thing. Maybe it jostles your memory about that particular brand.
Okay.
So we're, all the stuff is that we're learning as we go. We've done interesting experiments with everyone from, Starbucks and the Gap that have like retail outlets to some of these brands and TV shows and magazines. And, we've gotten some celebrities on there too. And it's really just like one big open experiment.
And how does a brand get to work with Foursquare? In fact, do we need to contact you directly? In fact,
yeah, that's the thing that's tough. Is like we're a big bottleneck because everything has to come through us. We have to manually approve it. We're building self-service tools. So if you think about the way that Twitter works, like JetBlue doesn't need permission for anyone to get a Twitter account to sign up. Foursquare hasn't been that way. It's for users, not for brands. Now we're building some specific things that allow brands to sign up to.
Okay.
And so brands will sign up and say like, I want a Foursquare page and I want to make it about, I'm an airline, I want to leave tips about all the cool things to do at the gates at the certain, terminals. And as soon as we can get out of the equation, like once we remove Foursquare from it, like things will become a lot more efficient.
And what's the time frame for this?
Beginning of next year, we should see some of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And what about badges? Like if a company wants to create its own badge?
Yeah, that's
the same thing.
We've been very protective over the badges because it's like a core part of the experience.
Yeah.
So we're not going to open it up entirely, but we're going to get a little bit looser with it. So we haven't figured out exactly what the plans are, but as we start doing some of the self-service stuff, as we get more brands on Foursquare, this question's going to keep coming up. So we're going to have better answers for probably the beginning of next year.
And do you have an idea in terms of pricing for a brand?
In the past, it's been custom. It depends what they want to do. It depends if they're going to promote us. Is there some kind of barter? Do the users get something? Can they show the badge and get like a ticket or something? Or a discount? And so it varies. And that's one of the things that's made it custom all this time. So we need to find a way to make it a little more scalable.
And just to conclude, can you maybe talk about where Foursquare is going with all those experience, in fact, that it's trying to bring in? And like, I see it a bit like a live bookmarking system, in fact, is gonna...
Yeah, I like that. I like it as like a way for people to go and, rediscover their neighborhoods, rediscover things in their kind of community. So, some of the stuff that we built with the to-do list, it's about collecting nuggets of content online and then putting it on your phone so you can experience those things later. The tips are designed to jostle your memory about things that you wanted to do and things that your friends want to do. So, a lot of the whole thing is like making cities easier to use, making the world more interesting to explore. And like all the little pieces we put together kind of fit into that.
That's cool. And since you launched the Add to Foursquare button, do you see a lot of usage?
We see some of it. Not as much as we wanted to. Primarily because like the button is really big, kind of wonky.
Okay.
So, and a lot of people want to see stats before they put it all over their newsletters and things. Like now we're working on the stats. We're kind of like revisiting some of these things.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're building a lot of things very quickly, and we often have to go back and revisit them to make sure we got them just right.